Hey everyone, welcome to r/Tales from Tech Support, where we get to have a little chuckle at the technologically disadvantaged. I'm Uncle Reddit, and have I got a story for you. Lost vacation. My favorite call was from my boss one day about 3 days into a vacation. I'm solo IT for a small corporation of about 200 users. I was a ways north playing in the trees just south of Canada. He called to ask if I could help him figure out why this one computer wouldn't turn on. We worked through everything and nothing worked. Boss is a smart guy. He checked the battery backup, made sure it was all connected correctly, but no power. Tested the outlet with another device that worked fine. This computer is a point of sale, so without it, several people aren't working. Okay, I bag the vacation and drive X number of hours back. Find a surge protector between the UPS and PC that's turned off. User had installed it so they could charge their phone and didn't realize it had a power switch. That's why I make the big bucks. Just kidding. Another vacation down the tubes. Shoot. Mistake number one, you answered that phone. I'd be heading right back out on vacation, and whatever time I took to get back, that's what they're going to tack on to the end. Life accidentally deleted. Please restore. First off, I'm on mobile and English is not my native language, which means I'm going to butcher this. Sorry guys. This story takes place before the age of smartphones, and the company I worked for had mobile phones from an, at the time, famous Finnish maker beginning with N. The reason was that their mobiles had a native mail app that worked with our hosted Exchange solution and could sync both email, contacts, and calendar, and you could connect them to the Wi-Fi to minimize the use of the, at the time, very expensive mobile data. This company had a sales manager who was known to have his whole life in his email and Outlook calendar. It was a standing joke at the IT department that he probably already had his funeral scheduled sometime in the future in his Outlook calendar. He simply could not live and function without his email and calendar, neither privately or professionally. You know the type of user that will call and nag you every other minute while you're trying to figure out why the email service is down. Anyway, the time had come for his manager to get a new phone from the Finnish maker. I helped him move the SIM card and set up email and calendar, sync to his new phone, and give it to him together with the box and charger and headset. I did, however, not get his old phone back since he had asked my boss if he could keep it and give it to his aging mother. And since it was an old model, without any value to the company, my boss said okay as long as he factory resetted the phone before giving it away. Did the user do a factory reset? Nope. Instead, he inserted the new SIM card for his mother's provider. Note that this phone is now also connected to his home Wi-Fi. Then he goes into contacts and erases all but the family contacts. He goes into the mail app and erases all the emails, and finally, he goes into the calendar and erases all the calendar entries. Happy that he's now complied with my boss's reset request, he gives the phone to his mother. The next morning he's in a panic. His Outlook has nothing but the emails from the last 10 hours. His calendar is empty and all the contacts but family contacts are gone. My boss asks him what he's done and he explains. Then my boss asks him, so you purposely deleted all emails, contacts, and calendar entries from your phone that was still connected and syncing with your email account, instead of going into settings and doing a factory reset as per instructions I gave to you? Then he continued, I will call our hosted Exchange provider and ask them to restore your mailbox from backups. Know, however, that this process probably would take a good part of the remainder of the day, and you brought this upon yourself. I will not have you calling us and asking for status. When we get any new information, we'll call you. Also know that this will cost the company in the region of €1,000 in restore fees. Holy cow. It took our hosted Exchange provider somewhere around 12 hours to restore and merge his mailbox. Since that incident, we never let a user keep any equipment unless we ourselves have factory restored it first. Edit. Since the price tag for the restore has come up in the comments, the Exchange server at that time didn't allow for granular restores. You had to restore the complete database, extract the user data from the restored database, and then merge that user data back to the user's live mailbox on the production server. A time-consuming process that was somewhat prone to errors. So basically, all he had to do was follow the instructions given to him. They were probably on paper somewhere, and he would have been fine. Nope, he was going to go in and just delete everything. That's weird. SAS Talk. At a relatively small company, I hosted a shared application server set with logically separated databases for some of the biggest US companies. Whenever a client called to say they were seeing a slow response time, we would run through a complete manual diagnosis, as we couldn't afford the fancy automated alerts. It was not uncommon to replicate the issue and find ISS web server needed to be restarted, or something ran out of memory. Client A calls to loudly complain that she couldn't log on. We run through our tests and don't see any issue. Everything responds quickly on the same server set. She still can't get the login screen. We log on as her, no issue. We extend our checks to confirm it's not our firewall or DNS. We tell her that we have not found anything wrong, but we'll continue to investigate. She interrupts to say she can log in now and hangs up. Alright, about a month later, same client, same complaint, but this time a bit louder, since this issue keeps happening. Again, our tests show nothing is wrong. She huffs at our incompetence after we complete our tests and declares that she can now log on. Next month, same scenario. As we review the prior complaints, we note that they're on the same weekday of the month, at about the same time of day. Interesting. So we ask, is there anything occurring on this day of the month at about the same time? Oh yeah, our CEO has the whole company join a company-wide online meeting. The whole company? Remember, we host some of the biggest US companies. Yes, but I normally skip it because there are too many people trying to join the meeting. Ma'am, can your IT department tell us the bandwidth utilization at your office during this meeting? They already looked at it and said we're using all the bandwidth, and they're trying to get approval to increase it so more people can join the meeting. But I was trying to log into your app, not join the meeting, so that isn't the issue. Yes it is. The fourth month we chatted about the weather because, while she knew it was the bandwidth, because IT hadn't gotten approvals yet, she wanted us to do our tests anyway. So she knows the issue, but she's going to keep calling you anyway, even though it has nothing to do with you. Unbelievable. Here we go again, keep arguing with IT, guys. Boosting my own Wi-Fi. I've posted once before in here, but let me give you a little bit about my background again. I work for a major company that has multiple help desks for their different accounts. I'm level 1, but working on finishing my A+ certification so I can switch to L2 in a few months. Anyways, here's the dumbest call I've had so far. Me equals me, obviously. Moron equals fellow associate whose computer I have to fix. Me. Hello, thank you for calling IT, how can I help you? Moron. Hi, yes, I can't get connected to the VPN. Me. Checks if account is locked, password is expired, or if he needs a new PIN. All seem fine. Okay, right click on the VPN and hit network reset. Moron. Okay, nothing happened. Me. Now we have to reboot for it to take effect. User reboots, still nothing. Me. Suspecting it might be an internet issue. Can you reach google.com? Moron. Typing angrily. No! Me. Okay, are you hardwired? It's policy that if you work at home, you have to be hardwired. Moron. Yes, I have one Ethernet cable running from one router to the other. I stopped. Me. You what? I stopped taking notes on the ticket. Moron. I wanted to work on the other side of the house and I needed stronger Wi-Fi, so I plugged one router into the other to boost the signal. Me. That's not what hardwired means. You need to plug the Ethernet cable into your home router and into the computer. Moron. But I would have to be on the other side of the house. Me, getting agitated. It's policy. Moron. Is there another way? Me. It's policy to be hardwired into the computer. Moron. Which internet company should I call to get the router removed? Me. The one that provides the service to your routers. They can move one of them for you. Moron. Oh, one is for my wife's business from Xfinity. My home router is Verizon. Me. The home router company. Thanks for calling. Your ticket is sent to your email. Again, let's just ignore policy and do whatever we feel like doing. Hardwired? Nah. We'll just set up a daisy chain of routers and hope that gets the job done. Why do monitors keep breaking every Monday? Right after the Y2K non-event, I was working in a help desk for a fairly large company, 15,000 employees. The company had a surprisingly kind corporate culture, thus had pretty good morale. People were allowed to decorate their cubicles pretty much as they saw fit, with the obvious exceptions like offensive posters, etc. One employee in a prestigious department called on a Monday and told us that her monitor had failed. Let's call her Francesca. Flat screens were a lot more expensive back then, so nobody had multiple monitors. I grabbed a spare and was at her cubicle within 5 minutes. Her cube was like a greenhouse. She must have had 30 different potted plants in a modest cube. Flowers, spider plants, little bamboo. It would have driven me nuts to work in this crowded little grove, but it smelled like a clean forest after the rain, and she was obviously proud of it. The monitor was dead as disco. Wouldn't even show me a power LED. I carefully moved 4 or 5 plants and swapped in the new one. Happy user. Closed the ticket. 1 week later, the ticket reopened on the next Monday morning. Statistically, it is certainly possible for a beat-up spare screen to fail, but it isn't likely. I grabbed the shiny new monitor, tested it at my desk, and installed it. As I swapped cables, I asked her what had happened. "It just shut off. I didn't even touch it." 2 monitors failing at the same time on the same day of the week for one user. This is not coincidence. I longed for a previous job where we had a hardware guy who loved to dig into dead equipment and figure out the forensics. I verified that she didn't have a heater in her cube, power surge, thermal issues, that no other users had seen any issues or heard anything. I googled the model of the monitor that had failed to see if it had a bad rap. I talked to the rest of my team. Nothing suggested a reason. So next Monday, early, I was camped out in her cube with iced coffee and suspicion as my team. Francesca came in, asked if this monitor had failed too. I explained that I was here to make sure that it wouldn't. She was pleased with the level of attention on her issue. I watched her start up the PC, turn on the monitor, and head out for her own coffee. All good so far. The PC booted properly, loaded up the series of apps that she needed at about the normal rate. They connected to servers across the country, so boot up took 10 minutes or so from power on to ready for calls. She came back with coffee and a watering can. I looked at the 3 potted plants on the shelf above her monitor and stopped her. She'd been slightly overwatering these plants once a week. I don't know why it hadn't killed the monitor before this, but she didn't use a power strip, and apparently the main circuit breakers weren't sensitive enough. User educated, problem solved, ticket reclosed. Holy cow. You mean she didn't see any water dripping? Like she's sitting at her desk staring at a monitor. You can't tell if there's water dripping into the back of your monitor? Oh my gosh. And wouldn't you notice the edge of your shelf being wet, things like that? I mean, there's all kinds of clues. Odd. I'm surprised when the tech got there, he didn't notice the first monitor being slightly damp on top or something. I have an issue with the program, but I can't let you solve it because I'm a jerk. A bit of context. Back in 2018, I used to work for a company which supplied service desk services to the national offices of a huge pharmaceutical. Our work was basically take the incoming calls from the client, the pharmaceutical office employees, solve them in first level, and if not possible, route the issue to the second level. Local IT teams, since our service desk team was remote. Cast. Me equals yours truly. User. Someone who thought they were much better than what they really were. L2 Bro. My friend on level 2 support team. A local team hired specifically for issues when there is an absolute need of someone physically touching the computers. On to the story. The day was going calm. Suspiciously calm. I was already 3 hours in and had 0 calls. Until... Phone rings. Me. Service desk, how can I help you? User. This is absurd. I've been trying to talk to you guys for the last 2 hours and the line's always busy. The fact that theirs was my first call of the day proved this statement was a lie. User. I can't receive emails. My email client isn't working. Fix it. Me. Sure, I just need your user ID first, please. User. I can't believe it. Every time you guys ask for my ID. Don't you remember me? That's a bad sign if they think you should remember them. The fact that we receive calls from the whole country makes it clear that we don't remember each and every voice. Also, they never mention their name during this call as well. User. I'm user and my username is user ID. Me. Okay, user, just give me a minute to check some things. Do you have a network access? User. I have no idea. I can't receive emails. That's all I know. Me. You got an error message on email client? User. What? No, where did you get that from? Coworker told me on Instant Messenger that she sent me something that I needed to see. Okay, that means they still have network. Me. Understood. Just give me a moment. I'll connect to your computer, check what could be going on. User. Do it fast. I remote into their computer and it's a huge mess as usual. Dozens of spreadsheets open at the same time, browser open with several tabs, and apparently one of them playing music. Their company used to allow music, but due to events I had no idea about, this policy changed before I left the service desk. Basically, their computer was overworked. Among the other windows, I found the email client window. Frozen. Me, I see. Your computer seems to be overworked, and the email client is frozen. All we need to do is close the program and reopen it. User, I already tried that, moron. Me, surprised by being insulted during a recorded call. Oh, okay. In this case, we need to reboot the computer. User, not happening. Me, I'm sorry? User, you won't reboot my computer. I need to work. It'll take my time and I'm busy. Me, you need your email working, correct? User, yes. Me, have you tried using the webmail service? User, that thing's stupid. All my contacts are on email client. Me, if the program won't close and the computer can't be rebooted, I can't solve the issue. User, such incompetence. Get me your supervisor. At the time, our service desk team had no supervisor in the sense of someone who could overrule something to get things done. The best we could do is escalate the issue to level 2, local IT teams. Me, you want me to send the issue to level 2 teams so they can send someone to your desk? User, you thought of that all by yourself or someone helped you to reach that conclusion? Yes, I want someone here now. My eardrums still hurt just a bit remembering them shouting in my earpiece. I complied just to save the hearing on my right side. My left side is a bit bad due to a previous non-work related injury. Wrote a ticket to level 2 team with notes of their behavior. Ticket description. User's email client froze and won't close. User won't allow a reboot. User agitated. Me. Done, user. There's a ticket for you on level 2's queue. They'll get to you as soon as possible. User. They have 5 minutes. Me. I'm sorry? User. No, you're not. I want someone here in the next 5 minutes or else I'll go straight to your boss. Joke's on them. My boss isn't even part of their company. Me. I can't give you an estimate of when someone will be by your desk, as I don't have access to level 2's queue. They could be with you in minutes or take hours, depending on what they have going on. User. You've been warned. 5 minutes. Click. After that call, we got back to the tranquility of before. Had 2 more calls that day, but easy work with nothing worthy of a story here. The following day I got a message from L2 Bro. L2 Bro. Hey OP, why didn't you solve the issue with user yesterday? Me. They demanded someone locally. L2 Bro. I got to their computer and rebooted it, but they kept saying that they didn't have time to waste waiting for us, that they could have rebooted the computer themselves and even asked why a client keeps us on their tab if we're this useless. Me. They what? L2 Bro. I kid you not, they're insane. Me. You added this conversation to the ticket log, right? L2 Bro. Of course. I've covered my butt. Did you cover yours? Me. The system automatically records all calls we receive. I hope this one gets randomly picked for revision. L2 Bro. You don't know the worst part. After I finished rebooting, they logged in and opened the browser first, going to YouTube, checking personal emails, even a finance blog, before even trying to open the email client. The chat went on with us bad-mouthing user and hoping for them to be fired for any kind of stuff they do in company time that's not work-related. To my surprise, I got an email later with an evaluation of my service, from the user. It's an automated email, yes, but it's about user's call. Had their ticket number and their user ID, and in the field reserved for observations they laid on me, saying I was rude and called them names and even said they should jump off a bridge, and brought it to my supervisor's attention, since he was the one responsible for our company's contact with the client. He took the issue directly to HR, and that was the moment I found out that user, prior to my hiring, had similar issues with other people on service desk. The last I heard about user, they had been demoted to someone's assistant, and they'd been put back into interpersonal training. I got out of that job weeks after this incident. Good for you, OP. I wouldn't take that kind of abuse. Although, if he got demoted and the rest of the company seemed pretty decent, you probably would have been okay in that job, but yeah, you had way more patience than I did. I would not have lasted that long with that guy. Start yelling in my ear and demanding stuff. That's when I click, hang up, make notes, tell a supervisor somewhere. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. If you've enjoyed this content, do me a favor. Consider giving us a thumbs up, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the little bell icon so you don't miss the fat guy with the beard telling you stories. See ya!